In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. My name is Vicky Fraser and this is my husband Joe.
Hello.
Hello. And this week we are drinking damson gin from the Bath Gin Company. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're drinking damson gin because it is the damson gin time of year.
And we've got to drink what we've got so that we can make some more.
Yes, because we have a whole tree groaning under the weight of very ripe damsons and we need to get them before the sheeps eat them all.
Yes.
Because the sheeps are being greedy little fruit munchers.
They are eating apples, they are eating damsons, they are having a whale of a time.
They are. And speaking of the sheeps, this week's podcast is a little bit different. We are going to give you a little bit of an insight into the Dingle, because I get asked a lot of questions. People email me and they say, how are the sheep? And, you know, how is the renovation going and all the rest of it? And so I thought this week we could just, tell people what we've been up to and give people a bit of an insight into what it is that I'm working towards, why I am, why
are you doing this?
Why I am doing this. Yeah, why I'm running this business. So, for what I'm trying to make the monies for. So, yeah, basically.
It's nothing at all to do with the fact that we didn't really prepare a podcast.
How very dare you?
Of course not. Okay.
Will you do that bobbly thing you just did?
Nope.
I've got the recording. I'm gonna ask the podcast guys to stick it in as an outtake at the end.
Awesome.
Because, if you hadn't just totally dropped me in it, then
right. So
you can make whatever choices you want, Joe. You're free to make whatever choices you want.
And you'll just override them in the edit.
You are not free to escape the consequences of that choice. And the consequences of your choice to mock me just now are that I'm going to put a funny outtake into this podcast.
Okay, fine.
So, I don't know. Well, I don't really know.
What the hell are we talking about?
I kind of just... Okay, so ever since I was a very small child, I have always wanted to live in a rickety old cottage that needed loads of work doing. And that, just was in the countryside with a bit of land.
Bit of space.
Bit of quiet, peace and quiet. So I could see the stars. Mm-hmm. And I got home from the studio the other night and it was dark and I could see the Milky Way over our house.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. And we're kind of living there now. So we moved in. When did we move in? 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, more
Doesn't seem like that long.
It was Easter, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was... My birthday present basically was getting you can buy the house from the solicitors because it was all a bit last minute because we were rushing to get in ahead of the stamp duty increase.
Yes.
Which was quite stressful because that might have... I don't think it would have stopped us from buying the house.
It wouldn't have stopped us.
But it would have required a bridging loan of some kind.
It would have made a couple of months a bit ugly.
Yes, it would. Would have required us to borrow some money from people and that kind of thing. So
nobody wants to do that.
So we moved in a couple of years ago. And before that, we decided that we were going to go and live in kind of a cottagey thing.
Well, I took the cottage in Leamington to be a test drive. Can we in fact move from a town into the countryside? Can we cope without a corner shop? Can we cope with everywhere we need to go is getting in the car? And we did that and we were there for longer than we thought we were going to. We thought we were going to do it for a couple of years and we were there for
6 years. Yeah.
Lovely place to live though.
It was great. We had great neighbours. We've been so lucky with our neighbours. We've got the best neighbour now. Barbara is awesome. Hi Barbara.
Hi Barbara.
So but that was kind of our little trial, wasn't it? And
yeah, it was good.
It was our dream, and we just saved and saved and saved, and we worked so hard to try and kind of, and it was in the end, it was your salary, that allowed us to kind of, I don't know, the monthly mortgage payment.
My salary qualifies us for the mortgage, but
my business allowed us to put a whacking great deposit.
Yeah,
and so that was the kind of first stage of really motivating me to want my business. I mean, I wanted my business to do really well anyway, but when you're comfortable, there is no incentive to do anything. Comfort is not a motivator, and comfortable people don't try and change things.
It's true.
It's just the way it is. And so I would never suggest that somebody puts themselves in a precarious position in order to accomplish something. But I think a little bit of discomfort is a good idea. So I'm like really in favour of people having a side hustle. You know, if that's not a bad way at all to start a business, is to start it while you've got another job.
Start it while you've got a safety net.
But there will become a point where you need to ditch the day job in order to make the business a thing. And one of my superheroes at the moment is kind of wrestling with that, because he's got a job and is building up a business on the side, and he's very conscious of the fact that he's quite comfortable, and
it's kind of scary to take that step, isn't it?
It is scary to get that step. I would not for a second recommend that you do what I did and burn every bridge that you've got.
Throwing hand grenades in every direction as you go.
Yeah, because that's I mean it's a legitimate plan if you want to do it, but I'm certainly not recommending it. But I think whatever you're doing and whatever business that you're running, there needs to be some discomfort or there won't be any movement. And if there's no movement, there's stagnation. And so that's really why I wanted to talk a little bit about the Dingle, because that's my motivation at the moment. I've got loftier goals, and I'm actually going to be working with a life coach.
My goodness.
I know. I'm very excited about it, because my lofty goals. But I want my business to take me in that direction. I want the things I do in my business to not just to make me enough money so that I can do the lofty goals that I've got, like and it's stuff that I want to do to kind of make the world a better place, if you like, without trying to sound too wanky about it. But I want the business that I'm doing in order to make that money to be on that same path. Does that make sense? So I don't want to be doing something over here, whereas eventually I want to be over there.
Yeah, you don't want to be building bridges out of orphan body parts. It's not the.
How did you what? What? Did you put mushrooms in your gin?
Is it the business direction needs to be moving the same sort of way as you are? It needs to be nice. You can't be.
Well, I was never going to go down the shady kind of treating people like crap route. What I meant was, rather than, I don't want to be writing sales letters for a million different clients. I was thinking more along the lines of I want what I'm doing in my day-to-day business to be moving me closer to.
I thought you were talking about kind of like morality and.
Well, no, because I would never. I've turned down clients before because their morals didn't fit with my morals, and I'm never going to work for a woo-monger. So.
Hi, woo-mongers.
Bye, woo-mongers. So anyway, we seem to have wandered slightly off topic. But yeah, so we moved into the Dingle 2.5 years ago, and it was well, let's put it this way. There wasn't water running down the walls like our friends Andy and Jodie's house.
No, that's
Hi,
true.
Andy and Jodie. But it was, I don't know, people have come to visit, and so what did the guy at your jiu-jitsu class say after he'd seen our blog?
So he saw a photograph I put on Facebook, and next time I saw him, he was like, "Oh, I saw your post on Facebook. It looks really cool. When do you think you're going to be able to move in?" And I was like, "Oh, that's where we live, dude.
We've been there for 2 years.
Nearly 2 years now." And he was like, "Oh, right, yeah, okay, fine. So sorry."
So we're not living in a caravan in the garden or anything, which is what our friends did, and all power to them. I don't know how they did it for so long.
But yeah, some people don't actually consider this habitable.
Oh, it so is habitable. There have been actually the last 2 winters. There have been times when I have genuinely been like, I don't think I can do this anymore because I've been sitting with my back to the Rayburn wearing gloves trying to work. I've been that cold, and. So that was a very motivating thing this year to make the house a little bit warmer, because you're not here in the daytime. No. And so, with in the nicest possible way, you have no idea what it's like in the daytime to be kind of working here. And it's not safe, and it's not, it's not healthy, and all the rest of it, because you end up hunched. I had shoulder pain for 6 months.
You had like neck ache, didn't you?
Yeah, because you just hunched. So that was very motivating. So that level of discomfort, actually, even though it wasn't ideal and probably wasn't the healthiest thing in the world, motivated us this year to be like, right, this has got to change, because
we've got to do stuff.
Yeah, I can't. And I've now got to the point where this is becoming a podcast about discomfort, which is fine. Yeah. It's organic. I like it. And this year, the motivation has been I cannot have my office in this room anymore, because we are actually in what we call the Rayburn room, and it's one day going to be the library. Mm-hmm. sounds much grander than it is. It's not that big, but it's going to be kind of bookshelf lined, and there's going to be
It's going to be cosy.
record player,
Cosy little room.
Yeah, and a wood burning stove and a couple of big chairs, and it's going to be fab.
And that's about all it'll fit.
That's about all it'll fit, and that's where I am at the moment, and it's lovely. But I am looking at a stack of 50 books there,
Easily.
just on your left on the floor.
There's a big pile of things.
Paperwork and things. Behind us is boxes, and it's just my office stuff, and it's stuff that needs to go in a storeroom. My desk is a mess. It makes, you can probably hear the tension in my voice right now.
There's too many things in here, not enough clarity.
Yeah. And I didn't want to turn it into a permanent office because this is our space, and I didn't want to, and I also feel guilty about the fact that this is our space, only it's not, because it's just not welcoming for you. It's...
Yeah, I walk through it.
You walk through it, and that's not fair. So another big decision that we made this summer was we're going to prioritise building my office over getting the kitchen done. And it's not really a one or the other thing, because the kitchen is a much, much bigger project. But the money that we are going to spend on my office is going to take a big chunk out of what we would have been spending
what would have been going on in the kitchen otherwise.
Yeah, but we talked about it. We decided that it was better for me to get out of here and into a proper space, because I think I'll be more productive as well.
Yeah.
For sure. So...
And it gives us more things to do within the house. It gives us other low-cost decorating and modifications that we can do.
Replace the windows, turn it into the library.
Build the library. That's not going to cost a fortune.
No.
Not on the scale of, huge extensions and kitchens and things.
Because this place is a fucking money pit, frankly, people. We love it, and it's amazing.
But it's a money pit.
Yeah. And that actually, this could be the podcast of best laid plans, because... we knew going in. We've watched Grand Designs a lot, and I've always been reading the the renovation magazines, because, like I said, I've always wanted to do this. I knew that things don't go as planned, and you knew that as well. But until you're actually doing it, you don't know, do you? You don't know.
I mean, we saw the house. It had been empty for about 18 months, and we put it this way: we didn't even bother having a survey done.
No.
Because...
And there are some people who would say that we are idiots, but there's no point.
There's no point. The safest assumption was everything needs doing.
Yeah. We knew it wasn't subsiding. We knew it wasn't going to fall down.
Yeah. It's been here for 300 years, so it's probably not going to fall over in the next couple of decades.
Yeah.
But, we knew the floors needed doing, we knew the plumbing needed doing, we knew the electrics needed doing, we knew it probably needed a new roof at some point. We knew we were going to do major remodelling inside. We knew...
And outside.
All of the windows were going to be changed. We were going to do landscaping. It's like, what the hell? What's drainage would have to change, bathrooms would have to be created. There's just... At some point, there's no need for a surveyor, because all he's going to do is give you a list of things you knew you were going to need to do.
Yeah, and it's like, do we spend, a couple of grand on a full survey, which is what it would have cost, or do we save that couple of grand and, put it into the work that we're going to need to do, the sandblasting? It's like, let's get the sandblasting done, because that's the first thing that needs doing, and that's what we did, the first thing that we did before we moved in.
Before we even moved in, we had the whole internal of the house sandblasted.
Because it was all, when you go into an old house and they're beams, but they've been blackened.
Yeah, they've all been painted and tarred for decades, and
it just was quite oppressive. And we wanted to take it back to the original oak, which is beautiful.
But don't ever, just in case you're thinking about it, don't ever underestimate what a chap with a sandblaster can do to the inside of your house in a week. The mess was unreal.
We still find pockets of sand, don't we?
Oh, man. It was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We bought a Hoover just so that we could kill it.
A sacrificial Hoover. The sacrificial Hoover, I'd forgotten about that. Have we still got it?
Yeah, it's in the back of the cupboard.
I think it kind of works. Henry. Oh my God, our Henry Hoover has been...
Henry Hoover. He's the boss.
He is the man.
Mm.
And,
He's had a tough life since we moved here.
Yeah, but he copes. Because, he had a tough life anyway, because I think we've got the world's hairiest cats.
That's possibly true.
The cats love it here. So, okay, anyway, so we kind of wanted to give you a little bit of an aural tour of the Dingle.
Okay.
So we are in the Rayburn room, which is one day going to be the library, which is currently my shithole of an office.
And this is in the section of the house that is the Victorian extension.
Yeah, this was built in the 1800s, and it was originally the village shop.
Yes.
And so the window that we are looking out of right now used to be a door, and the door behind us used to be, I guess, a back door. No, there was a window behind us, because there was a big alcove behind us that kind of would have looked out the back of the house, but now the kitchen is behind it.
Yeah.
And then to our right...
To our right, we have a...
And this is stone as well. The stone wall's like 2 foot thick.
Easily.
Really thick walls. So to our right, we've got the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
We have a tunnel in our house.
So that gets you back into the
original footprint.
The 15th century?
No.
16th century. 17th century, there you go. 17th century.
The first deeds we've got are from 1772 and they're beautiful. They're on vellum and we're going to get them framed and put them on the wall. We think it's about 100 years older than that-ish, maybe.
So we think about 1650 the original house was put down here.
Yeah. And it's stone first course and timber and brick second course. Only we're replacing the brick because the brick was probably it would have been lath and plaster between the timbers, and then it was replaced later with
wattle
brick.
And daub.
Or wattle and daub. Replaced later with brick, and we are gradually replacing those with cork and lime, which is, and without going into all of the technical detail, it's going to be warmer and drier and better for the house, and the timbers won't rot, basically. Okay. So we're doing remedial stuff all the time. So we're taking off cement, because cement it rots, it kills timber, it eats timber. Plastic paint just keeps moisture in. And,
gypsum mortar.
Yeah.
Cement mortars, all that kind of... anything invented in the last couple of 100 years is terrible for a house this old.
It's not great for any house, really, and people are just starting to learn that. And, there's no such thing as rising damp. People think that rising damp is a thing. There is no such thing as rising damp. That was invented by damp-proof companies.
There's poor drainage or bad gutters.
Yeah, so you need to, the whole damp-proof thing just covers the problem and produces problems for later on down the line, usually rotten foundations and rotten timbers and stuff, so treat the problem. Ventilation is really important. Not so much in really modern houses, because they kind of they know now, they counteract stuff, but in older houses. So we're doing all that. We're going to lay a flagstone floor down.
I think we're going to dig the floor up completely and put some insulation down under the floor. Maybe put some underfloor heating in, maybe not. But definitely get a little bit of insulation between us and the ground. Because at the moment we've just got quarry tiles placed onto what is probably ash.
Yep.
Which is on the ground. There's no there's no timber floor or anything underneath us.
There won't be any real foundations either, because there weren't in those days. They didn't do them. So
there might be maybe 12 inches of rubble.
Yeah.
If that.
So it's going to be interesting building the extension, because at the back of the house we've got a concrete breeze block kitchen that's damp, and it's just my least favourite place in the world.
It's got to go.
Yeah, it's got to go. It's a one-person kitchen. And then there's a couple of additions that have been put on, and they're really cool. It's actually really cool because you can see where the guy who used to own the house has just done things himself.
You can see the evolution.
I would have loved to have known him, because apparently he was a really interesting chap, and he was certainly really handy around the house. And so he's built all of this stuff. We're going to knock down all of the back extensions. We're going to reuse as much of the stone as possible, because there's quite a lot of good stone out there. And then we're going to have built possibly an oak framed, a massive oak frame kitchen, and then a separate utility room, and it's going to be the heart of the house. The Rayburn's going to go in there.
It'll get close to doubling the footprint of the property.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. We might build it out of straw. I don't know. Oh, because there's this amazing woman called Barbara Jones, and apparently she was on Dragon's Den, but I don't watch telly very much, so I don't know. But our neighbour, also Barbara, who is also amazing, told me about her, and she's amazing anyway. I need to get to know this woman, because she became a carpenter, joiner, roofer in the 80s in probably the most masculine industry in the world, and she's got her own business, and now she builds straw houses.
That's pretty cool.
Out of straw bales, and so she's an extraordinary woman, and I just think that she's amazing, and I've just bought her book. I'm waiting for her book to arrive. I'm very excited about it. I want to get to know her. I'm going to go and do her course. In fact, we bought her online course the other day, didn't we, Joe?
We did.
And so we're going to be doing her online course, How to Get Started with Straw Bales, because I would really like to build my office out of straw bales and lime plaster and stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that.
Yeah, because it would be very low cost, and we could do it as... Well, I was looking at the ones on, the ones that they've done before, the small things, 12 grand or so. We're going to do all the... Anyway. So, big extension out the back, replace the garage, all sorts of stuff. But I know that I always get... Anyway, I'm just kind of moving on. I'm getting all excited about my office now, because I've got plans. But I just wanted to talk about the sheeps, because people ask us how the sheeps are doing. And the sheeps are doing great.
Sheeps are cool.
Yeah, so we have Eric the Wonky Lamb, I think, is doing very well where he went to live in the Farm Animal Rescue Sanctuary.
They were much better equipped to deal with him than we were.
They were, and he would have grown into a giant sheep anyway. And we miss our little Tigger very much, because she was just she was just a little bundle of love, wasn't she?
She was
It was like she packed all of the love that she could possibly have into her very short life and then just fired it at us. She was totally awesome, and I really miss her. Bronson is completely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big cuddle. He comes running up to us every time we go and up to the field and just
starts nibbling on your shoelaces.
He unzips my cardigan and then he rezips it and then he unzips it and then he rezips it. And if you hold an apple out for him, he will eat it from your hand like a person.
That's quite nice.
Yeah. And so now he's got his two friends. He's much happier. Although he headbutts them quite a lot.
Well, they need to know who's boss.
Yeah. So we've also got Koenig and Picard, who are two miniature sheep, and they are so small and so cute.
They're kind of, I don't know, what would you say, Labrador-sized, maybe?
Smaller than that. Smaller than a proper Labrador.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like a spaniel.
Okay, like a hefty spaniel.
Hefty tall spaniel. Yeah. Or maybe like a collie.
Maybe a collie, okay.
But heavier than a collie.
Rounder than a collie.
Yeah.
But same sort of, yeah.
But they're super cute as well. They nibble everything.
They are nibbles.
They are nibbles. And they are doing a really good job of keeping the grass mowed.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got 2 chickens at the moment.
Need to get a few more chickens.
We do. I need to do a blog about how I nursed Granny Featherwax back to health.
Yeah, you should put that on the web, because when we were searching for fixing chickens who are in shock, it was very limited.
It was very limited.
So you do need to write that
I do
story
need to write
and put
that.
it out there somewhere.
Yeah, I basically nursed Granny Featherwax back. I really thought she was going to die. We came down every morning and I was just like, there's going to be a dead chicken downstairs. Because I brought her into the house in a dog crate. Okay, so back to the beginning of the story. I went outside into the courtyard and there were feathers everywhere and I was like, shit, we've had a fox attack. And I didn't know where Betty was, and Betty's our other chicken. And I was like, what's happened? And I just caught a slight movement out the corner of my eye, and Granny Featherwax was huddling underneath the wheelbarrow. And I was like, Joe, we did it! Bad things have happened.
So I come out, and what we've basically got is a floppy chicken that can't stand up, is looking really sorry for itself.
Lots of broken feathers.
Lots of broken and plucked feathers, but didn't appear to have any actual injuries.
Nope.
So we boxed her up, took her to the vet, and the vet said, yep, that's a chicken. It's fine. Didn't have any broken wings, didn't have any broken legs, wasn't bleeding from anywhere. It was just basically a chicken in shock, just goes floppy.
Yeah, this happened. This is a bird thing, apparently. I did not know this. Who knew? But when birds get really bad shocks, it's like they're turned off.
Yeah,
it's really
just like
strange.
reset the chicken.
But the thing is, and this has been absolutely fascinating, hasn't it? Because we kind of picked her up and we thought, oh, okay, fair enough. And we put her in a box, and I was like, well, she's not. I think we need to bring her inside because she couldn't stand. She literally couldn't stand. And it was so odd. And so we brought her inside, and I was like, oh, she's not eating. And if I held a handful of corn right in front of her face, she'd peck a few, and then she'd kind of go, oh, yeah, not sure about that. I could make her drink if I put water under her face. I ended up just squirting water into her mouth, and she got so thin. You have
lost a lot of weight.
It was when I picked her up, her breastbone practically cut my hand in.
I mean, she lived in that box
for 10 days or so.
10 days, yeah.
2 weeks.
And we took her outside, so she got a bit of sunlight and interacted with Betty, and it was just odd.
Yeah.
And she gradually
But she was chirping like a chick, like a baby chick.
I think she got reset back to firstborn.
Yeah, and she had to learn how to walk again, because in the end we were like, right, we're going to have to take her outside, and she's either going to live or she's not, because she can't. It's no life to live in a crate in the house, and if she dies, then I will be sad, but it's better than being in a box. And so we kind of took her out, but we watched her learning to walk again, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was so interesting. And now she's, apart from the fact that her tail doesn't go up anymore, her tail is always down, which is normally the sign of a sick chicken, but I think is just a side effect of what she's been through. You wouldn't know, would you? And,
No, she's fine.
And I just feel really proud, because I'm like, I think most people would have just like...
Well, I was researching, how do I finish a chicken?
Because there ain't no way I could do that. But yeah, I'm just like... And now you would think that she would be the friendliest chicken in the world and she would love me, but she still hates us, yeah. But yeah, she's really cool. But that basically is why I'm doing what I do, for this crazy place that we've got, for this 2 acres of ridiculous land with a bridge and, bridge of doom,
Woodland.
bridge of death. And it's awesome, and we're so lucky. We're so lucky. If ever I have a bad day and I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore, I'll just go outside and stand in the garden and be like, I live here. This is just completely awesome. And the fact that it needs so much work doing and so much money spending is incredibly motivating for me to, get off my arse and get stuff done.
Yeah, and we'll get there. We haven't got a big wad of cash behind us, but our income is reasonably sensible, isn't it? So we're doing okay.
Yeah, and the plans that I've got, and the meltdown that I had a few weeks ago, and the plans that have come out of that, and what I want to do, is going to make it so that I can work less and make more, and I can serve people better as well, because I'm not going to be so stressed all the time. Because we have this, and this is kind of what I want to finish the podcast on. If we're going to have a takeaway, I would like it to be that you don't have to be 100% busy all the time, because that's no way to live, and it's no way to do your best work. And I've really struggled the past few weeks, and I'm much better than I was a few weeks ago, and I'm going to be even better after we get back from a holiday, because a whole bunch of stuff will have moved. But I've really been thinking really carefully about the life that I'm living and the life that I want to live, and I think we get sucked into this, I will be able to do such and such when such and such happens. And we're always living in the future. And I think we really forget to live... it sounds really wanky, but, living in the moment is so important, because that's all we've got. The past is dead, the future is uncertain. All we've got is this now. And so to spend the now worrying about what might be or what's happened before, or, making future plans all the time. I mean, I love future plans, but, spending your whole time...
Spending your whole time in your head in the future.
Is no way to be. And, yeah, this whole stressful thing was like, I don't want my life to be like this. I would rather be struggling for cash. Literally rather be struggling for cash than living some of the last few weeks. Again, I never want that to happen again.
Yeah.
And so, this Dingle, this ridiculous house that we live in, and these animals that we've got, and my life with you,
Yay.
is why I got myself into that state. And when I was in that state, I realised that's ridiculous.
You're kind of taking your eyes off the prize.
Yeah, and it wasn't just taking my eyes off the prize. It was like, I am not happy right now. And it wasn't all of the life that I've got. It was my mindset and the way that I was trying to do too much. You don't need to be working 100%. You can't, and I couldn't serve my clients as well as I would like to have done. And so that was the reevaluation thing. So if you take nothing else away from this podcast, I just wanted to give you a bit of an insight really into, our life behind the scenes and all the rest of it, and our Dingle menagerie and stuff. But what I would really like you to take away from this is it's okay to spend time just enjoying life. And turn off the business sometimes. Really, there is nothing, and this kind of follows on a bit from last week, I guess, with the rules. There's nothing that can't wait.
Yeah, and for me, it's kind of, why did you start this business? Why are you doing it? What's it about? What's it for? And if it's to afford you a nice lifestyle, then, don't forget you need to have a nice lifestyle. Yeah.
And it's, it's partly to afford me a nice lifestyle.
No, I was talking to the hypothetical listener there. Oh, my God.
But yeah, and also... it is worth thinking about where you want your life and your business to go as well, because that clarity of where you're heading allows you to then focus on what you're doing now. Because I think that's I might have said something quite profound then. I've not really thought about it in that way before. That once if you don't know where you're going, you don't quite know where you're going. That's Whiskey, who just got her claw stuck in my clothes and had a panic.
Outrage.
Thanks for that, Whiskey. You totally derailed my profound point as well.
There's a profound point in there somewhere. God damn it.
That's probably a good place to finish.
You got to...
No, I think it's dead.
All right, we're done.
Killed. Yeah. So coming up next, I hope this bit of a diversion has been entertaining and hasn't just been self-indulgent twaddle.
Yeah, kind of tells you a bit about why we're doing it, what it's for.
Yeah. Any questions? Any questions about the Dingle? Or, my business? Or my meltdown? Or my angry cat? Just email them.
And if you're not sure what your purpose is and why you're doing all of this nonsense, you should probably have a think about that,
Yeah.
dear listener, and sort that out.
And if you would like a friendly ear, then you can always borrow my brain. If you'd like to borrow my brain, drop me an email and I can fix you up with that. Next week, Misty and I are going to be drinking wine on video and talking about Breaking Bread San Diego.
Is it not San Diego, baby?
San Diego, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, the website's done. I'm about to start sending emails about it.
Cool. Come to San Diego.
Come to San Diego. If you would like to come to San Diego with me and Misty and Joe and meet Joe in person.
That's what everybody wants.
Just drop me an email with the subject line San Diego, baby, and we'll send you the info. Vicky@vickyfraser.com. Vicky with a Y, Fraser with an S. Otherwise, we'll be back same time next week. Well, me and Misty will be back same time next week.
I won't be back next week.
No, Joe won't be. He'll be making us dinner. Well, me dinner. And you. Okay, anyway, thanks very much for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Do it again.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.